As thousands of South Sudanese refugees continue to pour into Uganda to escape attacks from armed forces, the United Nations Refugee Agency UNHCR is sounding the alarm. It says the dire situation has created the third largest refugee crisis after Syria and Afghanistan. Mariama Diallo reports.
The ongoing violence in Africa's newest created the continent's largest refugee crisis. Via Skype from Geneva, Babar Baloch, UNHCR spokesperson.
We now have 1.5 million refugees that have fled South Sudan, seeking safety and taking refuge in the neighboring countries.
Uganda is the largest recipient of South Sudanese refugees.
Around 700,000 have fled to Uganda. Others have gone to Sudan, Ethiopia, DRC, Central African Republic as well. And what we have seen is that all these communities in the neighboring countries who are welcoming the South Sudanese refugees, they don't have enough themselves.
Sida Hawa and her 6 children recently arrived in Kuluba, a small town in northern Uganda.
I had just planted some crops and I was waiting to harvest. I lost everything because of the war. They are killing people.
Raymond Tawongo barely escaped his hometown on an old bicycle. He lost everything when his village was attacked.
Look at me. I'm wearing torn, dirty clothes. We sleep in the bush. This is a terrible situation.
Hawa and Tawongo are among the thousands of refugees streaming into Uganda since intense fighting broke out again in July following the collapse of a peace deal between the government and opposition forces. Brian Adeba says it's time to focus on the root causes of the conflict.
These charades that are taking place, like the national dialogue, which is not inclusive, the statements by JMEC, the organization that is supposed to oversee this peace agreement, the statements that allude to the fact that, hey, everything is moving on smoothly. This is just a phantom process, and we need to recognize the peace deal for what it is. It is dead.
For that, Adeba says all the parties involved need to return to the negotiating table.
The government is a key actor in this conflict, and it needs to be at the table. The SPLM-IO in opposition, led by Dr. Riek Machar, has to be at the negotiating table as well. But we also have to be cognizant of the groups, the armed groups that have come up. There are several of them in the Equatorias and in Upper Nile that need to be brought to the table.
The Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission has called upon all the parties involved to cease all military activity.